Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hope everybody's good tonight. Um, we was hoping we'd have a little bit more on here tonight, but I think we got only about 6, 7 people. People are coming in as we speak. Um, uh, this weather has been crazy. We've had um, freezing temperatures all week, and now it's in the 50s tonight. So it has been kind of crazy. And
go ahead. I'm just,
All right. It's been kind of crazy on the weather, and maybe I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody visited with family. But I'm telling you, there is something going around out there. I've got friends that got strep throat, and they've got COVID, and they've got this flu-like stuff. So I hope everybody is wearing a mask if you're around a bunch of folks and taking your vitamin C. And we even take elderberry juice also to kind of hold back any infection,
I've been
because
out in the wind. Can you tell my hair's kind of standing up? I
but
can't even catch it. Oh,
salute to my
Sleuth
son.
Mom, we're sorry.
And I saw where Beach Bum said that she had a migraine too. Um, yeah,
And she's been to two funerals. And Melinda is sick with pneumonia and COVID. And then we have a friend that had open heart surgery about 6, 8 weeks ago.
no, I
And
hadn't been that long.
well, and he has COVID and strep.
So I think too everybody met. Had big crowds. You ran big crowds during Christmas, and it's impossible not to get something if somebody's got it there. But we are just doing everything we can to build up our immune system. But like I said, we take vitamin C at night in the powdered form, and then we take elderberry juice. It's a big
Zinc and vitamin D.
vitamin D. So trying to do what we can to stay tea because it's just I have just been feeling like my ears are stopped up all day, and that's
Let me see.
you see all the way through.
Yeah, get her out. I can't see all the way through.
But yeah, try to take some calls. So now I did for I'll get into our message here in a minute, but I did hear somebody say today that uh, you know if you're going to if you start to get this thing, get to the doctor pretty quick and you know get some medicine for it. Lori Ann, don't worry about that. We love questions on our RV channel. Um, and we don't want to fire either. It's just, and that's why I just explained for you. We, I am super, super careful when I do anything with any type of heat lamp or anything. And we actually, I actually put my hand in front of it about to see how far the heat goes. But we had temperatures down to 0 degrees here where we were, and we had to do something because I was just so afraid of waking up to the whole bottom of the RV, busted pipes and everything. And Lori Ann, as you know, I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and I've been around firemen and all that stuff all
Her
my
dad's a
life.
fireman.
Yeah, and I understand. I understand 100%. But I assure you, I was very careful, and I was just making sure that we didn't have anything in that closed space that was flammable at all.
Can I tell him why?
And what?
Can I tell him why we want to make sure there's no fire?
What?
Because me trying to push you out that window in the bedroom
Yeah.
would be bad.
Um, but we are not. We don't have a heat lamp on anymore. It's 51 degrees.
I was out trimming muscadines with Dad today. It's very nice out there.
Want to show you a couple things that I was doing today when I was looking over some of these stuff. Um, what the heck? Hold on a second. Okay, good. I got kind of
Turned around.
turned around here a minute. This came up here. This was out of Auburn, California. I think it was. This is a father had interrupted a kidnapping attempt on his daughter, and said Freddie Campbell said basically this a story it will leave you speechless, especially if you're a parent. Freddie Campbell that day, something he would never forget. He lives just across the street from Regions Park in Auburn. This is Auburn, California, the way I understand it. His kids and his ex-wife were all regular visitors at the out for outdoor activities, but that unfateful night, something unexpected happened while his ex wife and her husband were supervising the kids. Let me get over here to it. This thing is hard to mess with when you're. What the heck happened here?
Want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me see when it comes up first.
Read it here if you want to.
The mother and her husband saw this and reacted quickly. They were running, trying to catch the felon. Cantrell saw them and started to run in the opposite direction, knowing that it was the only way to catch him. He was wearing handcuffs wrapped across his fingers and tried to use them on me. He intended to make them seem like brass knuckles and punch me with them. I had no other option than to act immediately and knock him out.
And the guy was trying to actually kidnap kids inside that park, and this is the guy right here. I don't know if you can read that little bit.
Sure, I can't read it.
Shortly after the deputy county arrived on the scene, or it should be the county deputy arrived on the scene, and the subject was taken into custody. 26-year-old Hernandez Vasco attempted kidnapping and assault with a deadly weapon. So it looked like he got his face busted, his lip busted there too, in the when they arrested him, or maybe when the dad tackled him out there or punched him and knocked him out. But that just goes to show, man, if your kids are out there around a park, daytime or nighttime, be careful on what you're closely supervising, because there are pedophiles out there. And
remember the little girl that her parents moved here from another country, 6 years
yeah,
old?
we reported
We
on that.
reported on her, and her mother turned her back for a minute, she said, and her daughter was gone. Beautiful. I think she was 6 years old, little girl.
Yeah, and I've watched several Datelines and stuff where they've put mothers in a van and they've had their kids playing in a park, and they say, "Well, Steve, what would your child do this? Would your child
Yeah.
respond?" And they had an actor come up with holding a leash, calling a dog, and say, "Excuse me, will you help me look for my dog? He's a cute little dog." And I think 9 out of 10 kids walked off with this guy, and of course the mothers were devastated, but that their kid would do that, even after you instruct him. Don't talk to strangers, don't go with a stranger. You enter dogs in the picture, animals in the picture, stuff like that. Kids will want to do stuff with, they want to get out there and be a part of it.
I remember in Birmingham, there was a group that decided to see, they went to the mall and they decided to see, I think it was a
Yeah,
news
this is the
camera.
craziest thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard of.
But it was a news crew, and they went to in Birmingham, Alabama, to one of the malls, and they had a plain looking van with no windows in the back part of it or on the sides. And they went in with a clipboard and they started approaching young women. And the ages was like 14 to, I think it was like 24, wasn't it? It was something like that, a large scale. And they would talk to them and they'd ask them a few questions. And then, hey, you look like somebody we're interested in, modeling some stuff for, getting us to model some stuff for. And we wanted to know if you would come out and let us take a few pictures and send them out and see if we can get you a modeling job. Out of the 100 people, women, young women that they ask, how many do y'all think went out and actually got in the van to make pictures?
And I'm talking about getting in the van and shutting the door.
Yeah. How many do y'all think out of 100 you got ages 14 to 24? How many of y'all think, how many of them do you think went? Come on. I'm going to wait a minute to tell you. So, anyway, y'all just put some numbers on there for me. I want to see how many of y'all, how many you think. Because Lake Superior said 84. Nope, not 84. Anybody else want to chime in? It's pretty interesting. It was shocking, actually. Yep, Lake Superior, out of 100 went and got in that van.
It's amazing. And, there's a YouTuber online, and he doesn't do anything wrong, and he's a great photographer, but it just shows a lot on how people respond. He comes up to women and men, mostly women, and he'll say, "Can I take your picture? Can I take your picture?" And he said, "I'm a photographer, and this is what I do online." He shows them his YouTube channel online, and he said, "If you don't care, let me take a picture." And they normally walk to a different area of the park. They don't go out near his vehicle, but still, I think it goes to show you almost everybody he approaches eventually says yes. One girl said, "I'll let you take my picture, but don't put it online." And then he shows where she sent him an email later on and said, "I'll go ahead and put it online." But, it just goes to show you how people want to be on social media. They want to have their picture out there. And speaking of pictures on social media, I'm going to give you something, and I bet you not everybody will agree with me because I've told my family this, my friends did this, and they still do it. Don't put your baby pictures
Mm.
of your kids, naked pictures online where they're topless and it's a
Cute little
female, cute
pictures
little
that you've taken
pictures or anything of your kids like that
in the
online.
bathtub.
In the bathtub, right, online, because these pedophiles will use that. They will take those pictures, they will send them out on the dark web, they will sell those pictures because these perverts, these pedophiles get off on that kind of thing. They don't have to be.
It's nasty.
I mean, to us, they're nothing but a
Cute
innocent little
pictures.
child.
Yeah.
But to them, they see it as a perversion. And I've told other people that, and going along with this, there's a part of it. Go over to your Facebook. If I know 99% of you have Facebook pages, go over there and take your full date of birth off your Facebook page. If you look at it when you go to about myself and your personality, just about every friend I have has their full date of birth on Facebook. What we normally do is put our month and day with our year to be making us 100 years old or something, because
What?
people,
I'll make myself be 40.
well, people, what they will do is they will use your name and date of birth to get some identification. I mean, that's all they need in practice. They could make up your mother's name, or they could maybe find out it some other way. But it's just, that I don't understand that. I mean, just about 99% of people will put their date of birth on Facebook, full name, date of birth, and you can get credit cards, you can get a lot of stuff with those name, date of birth. And like I said, the pictures of your children without clothes on in the bathtub or running around, even as babies, don't do it. These perversion, these people out here they will use that for their perverted mind. Okay, we got another one here. This is actually one that came up when I was looking at a few things. See if that thing will come down.
Police are desperately searching for an endangered missing Virginia father after blood was found in his abandoned vehicle reported reports NBC from Washington. Jose Cuero, I think that is 20, was last seen leaving his residence on Lynn Street in the Woodbridge area on Wednesday, December 21st, around 8 p.m. to run some errands. He never came back. The outlet said, citing the family, his car was located on Friday, December 23rd, near the Bel Air Road and Jeffries Road in Woodbridge. His family says he's nowhere to be found, but blood was found in the back seat, and and that his disappearance is serious, continued the outlet. Guerrero is described as a Hispanic man, 5'8", 109 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes. He was last seen wearing blue sweater, blue jeans, black shoes. Help me find my son, said his mom, Andrea. I beg you, anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of, of this person is asked to contact Prince William County Police or your local police department. To read the full story, go to click there.
And yeah. Anyway,
He's too young to look like that.
he is, and there I've got another picture of
He looks
him
like
here.
he's too young to be a dad.
He looks like it, but 20 years old now.
Yeah, I know.
They in this they talk about authorities had found his abandoned vehicle, the missing dad. Um,
14 years
no,
old.
police are desperately searching for endangered missing Virginia father after blood was found in his abandoned vehicle. Reports say on NBC4 Washington.
And it was found in the back seat, which is that's
Yeah.
even worse.
And said he went out. Of course, we've reread he went out to run errands and then was not seen again. Blood was found in the back seat, and they considered the disappearance serious. And you know what we've said before is, if enough blood is found in a vehicle or anywhere around that someone's missing, the police can usually determine by the amount of blood found if it was a homicide or not. And if you remember, we covered this also. The heavyweight boxer, one of the heavyweight boxers, his daughter, or maybe MMA fighter, whatever, his daughter came up missing, and her car was found in Montgomery, Alabama. And I think he was from Tuskegee or Auburn. Because the amount of blood was found in the car, they determined that it was a homicide, and also they found her. I believe they ended up finding her remains later on up near Auburn, Alabama. But that's what I'm saying. You just they can tell by the amount of blood usually.
If they can agree on the amount of blood, because the people with Michael Chambers' case, they couldn't agree on the amount of blood.
Yeah. This girl also,
Megan Coles.
Megan Coles, is missing. Very, very little information on her missing. This is from Cross Lanes, West Virginia. Sheriff's Department there is searching for a missing woman from Cross Lanes. Megan Coles, 36, reported missing by concerned family members, according to the news release Wednesday. Family members said she hadn't been heard from her since early September. She's 5'7", weighs 135 pounds, and she has blue eyes and blonde hair. And there's not much information in there. I looked everywhere to see if maybe the family had put something up, and this is the only other information I found on this. Not much other than they're asking for assistance, and they do give a description and where to contact, and that's about it. But in today's society, with everybody getting sick and staying away from everybody, you could actually not really be missed if you don't have a real close relationship with your family. You could go off. I mean,
Did you ever figure out what happened with that guy in France, that student?
He was found safe.
He found safe 3 weeks later.
I don't know, but it's not too thing. I mean, phone could have died. Met a girl.
Something was up with that.
I don't know. I don't know. This is a girl too that has came up. This is Rio Boyd. Um, I do have a little bit more information about her. Last seen on October 17th in Spanaway, Washington. Left her home to walk to a friend's house. Never arrived there. Rio was wearing blue jeans. Her cell phone was found on the 400 block of Field Road in Spanway. If you have any information, I mean, go out for the walk to a friend's house and never arrive,
21
and
years
and
old.
also her phone being found. That says a lot. And I believe her father had some information. Uh, this is maybe this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Spanaway.
Yeah. It's another picture of her. 25'6", 215 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes, scar on her left forearm. Uh,
No
Family,
other lead.
looking for her missing 21 daughter, whose phone was found just a block from her family home. Um, yeah, she probably got most likely
Sleuth Mom said
abducted.
she has been following that one too, and she was wishing there was more updates. And then BC, Rio's case is troublesome.
Yeah. Her father, Brian Boyd, said that he called the phone when she didn't come home. A guy picks the phone up, answers the phone. He's like, "Hello." I said, "Who is this?" And he said, "Just found the phone on the ground right here." So I ran over and got it. I don't understand how she would just left her phone behind, like so that kind of
That
scares everybody. And it sounds like she was knocked, maybe abducted off the street. Forced, she maybe dropped her phone to
I don't know. That's weird.
she might have dropped her phone to show, hey, I didn't leave voluntarily, or she might have the whoever took her may have thrown her phone out. And I'm hoping that they will get the phone and do some forensic stuff on it too.
Sleuth Mom said it was a brand new phone just purchased as well. I don't see anyone who was going to run away spending hundreds on a phone just to toss it and leave.
Now, I'm not saying that. I'm thinking that maybe she was abducted by, kidnapped, and everybody knows your phone. It's like I've been watching this program on Roku. It's based on the first 48. It's called Homicide Squad, and it's out of Atlanta, and where they follow true homicide cases. And it's like one guy said. He said everybody has a personal GPS device on them all the time, so, because you can do two things. I don't know if y'all aware about, but let me read this and then we'll discuss those two issues where they're openly talking about now good investigation tools. Said it really unsettling because it's not like her to leave uh, for an amount of time without letting her mom or dad know, her uncle said. Rio is brown shoulder length hair, blue eyes, blue and hazel eyes. She's 5'6", 215 pounds. Police say a small mole above her lip and has a scar on her left forearm. And they say basically any information, you know, um,
Please call
or
the numbers.
surveillance or anything to call. And they give a little map here of footage to assist in the investigation. Now, what I was going to tell you was this. Let me get out of this thing. I do have a map, another bigger portion of the map, but there's two things that are really, and we talked about one of them the other day. There's one is they can take your information off your cell phone and they can actually see where you went by times. You don't have to be on it. It's just like a GPS model, and as long as you have your phone with you, it doesn't have to be on. They can follow your phone. Um, Another thing they call is geofencing. Now, police usually have to get a court order, but a lot of times the cell phone people will let you have this information for free if it's involved, or just open it up if it's involved in a time sensitive case like a murder or
Like this.
runaway or abduction. And what they can do is they can take and say, okay, her phone was found at this location. Let's go out 200 yards in a big circle, and the phone company can see what phones are inside this circle.
Yeah.
Uh, if they're on, they can tell you the number of the phone number of that phone, uh, or information about the phone. I don't think they can go into name of the person. You probably have to subpoena that or stuff like that, but they can tell you what phones are operating or own inside this circle. And there's been crimes, homicides solved by doing that, even accidentally. The people were inside the circle. So it's called geofencing. And it's a big time, going to be a huge
Game.
enforcement tool, because if you got somebody snatched or a kid snatched in an area, then they can take it and say, I want all of the phones in that area in a circle, semicircle, about 500 yards, say, or 1,000 yards. And of course, the bigger the field is, the more people that you have to go through. So they try to lower it down to in that immediate area, like 30, 40, 50 yards.
I think that's a
But
game changer.
yeah, it can be a very much game changer, because you could just say your phone, if, if they can determine the time around there, because they have to have a close time. But say they, right now, if you throw a new phone out, sometimes it'll say, "Have you fallen?" or whatever. Dina's does it all the time. So if they can get down to approximately a time, then they can do this geofencing. But they've got to have a certain time to do it. They can't just say between 7 and 10, because it's
Unless it's a rural area.
well, I don't even think they can do it then, because you're talking about a mega information that has. I think you're going to have to get a pinpointed time. If they can say, okay, at this time, if you had somebody getting snatched on video shows them getting snatched at 10 o'clock p.m., then boom, you do a geo fence for 10 o'clock p.m., and
But
you
it
might
can go
find
back.
that person.
Like 2,000 Mules, they went back and
Yeah, I'm
studied
going to
that
talk
stuff.
about that. But yes, but you can go back if you have the time. They
Yeah.
went back for the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And another thing is, like I said, they can track the phone too. If you're going to, it's not a geo fence, but they can say, okay, your phone, it pinged at 9 o'clock here, at 9:15 here, at 9:30 here, at 9:45 here, at 9:50 here, 10 o'clock, and they can show where the phone was at, and then they could try to narrow it down, like uh, if say the body was found over here at a different location, then they can say, okay, at 10 o'clock we knew she was right here. The body was found at 1:30, and work back from it. But I think it's going to be a big game changer. I wish that we'd have had it back when I was working narcotics. Is this geofencing, tracking everything? Yep, they are. Hey Herbie, how you doing, man?
BC said she honestly didn't get far from leaving her house.
Yeah, I know. Just down the road. Um, down the road is not very
Some
far for sure.
Chybug says some states won't allow geofencing due to privacy concerns. Supreme Court ruled in a couple of states it's unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's why you can get it with a court order. You can't just, you know. You can't just go out. It's like the it a lot of states say it's a violation of their Fourth Amendment, but these phone companies can do it no matter what if they can use it for their own. It's not a violation when you get your phone or you sign up for Facebook. You need to uh, you need to go and look at the policy and the things that you sign up for. You give Facebook a when you sign up to say I want to be on Facebook, then you give them rights to track you every place you go on Facebook for to sell you stuff. You give them rights to do a lot of stuff, track what you say, to look at your messages. It gives you a lot of stuff. It's like honestly, you can. It just seems. It sometimes it seems like they're listening inside on my TV.
They are.
But well, it's like we'll be talking about. I don't know what we were talking about the other day. Something's. It was
One time we were
insurance or
talking about
something.
life insurance
Yeah,
and if we
just
needed to change our life insurance policies.
and like 10 minutes later, it was like on Facebook, life insurance stuff pops up, or you know, or on TV if smart TV. It seems like I promise you, it's like they were reading. I mean, I don't want to sound like I, I could think about something, and during if it did, the TV wouldn't come up talk an advertisement about it 30 minutes later. It was just crazy. But I think it too, if you, um,
Let me show you something. BC said one thing that I find odd is they haven't set an area for the friend's house that she was walking to.
well, I think, and I think that uh, Herbie can talk. Red Jaguar can talk about this too. And I'm glad you're on tonight because I want to ask you a question. I'm glad you're here. Um, a lot of times the police know more than they're telling you, and they're not going to say something out there that's going to jeopardize their case. And they may have somebody that um, they're looking at that they don't want to lawyer up him to go and lawyer up, or him to change his from going one place to the other. They want to let him go, so they'll just leave it. They'll just won't say anything about it, won't even make an indication about it, and then hopefully he'll make a mistake, say something to somebody. Red Jaguar. I was reading a post about a missing person today, and they said that they like to hang out in, I think it's Kingston in Philadelphia. Is that Kingston Avenue or whatever, that drug avenue over there? You familiar with that, correct? It's like Skid Row, except it's location that all it's supposed to be. It's known as the one of the largest open air markets for drugs in the United States. And I'm wondering. I know that I've read the DEA has done some stuff down there, but I'm just wondering why the city has not. It's in Philadelphia, I think. Why the city has not
Kingston Avenue.
Kingston Avenue, right? Why the city has not done something about that? Yeah, why haven't they, you know, gone down there and just cleaned it up or whatever? I mean, they say that you can buy anything you want to, heroin or anything down there, anytime, day or night, fentanyl, heroin, anything you want. Um, I'm just wondering why, because a lot of times I've read the city said, "Oh, we're going to do something," but they failed to do it. Do you can you kind of enlighten us about that, if you know?
Did you read Sing to Me's thing? Molly
Well,
Tippett's case in Iowa
mm,
was renowned for the electronic data from her smart watch, laptop, and private video cameras used to find the killer.
yeah. The only thing is they have not found them yet. and that, the mayor considers the area a protected area so they can have free place to control in a controlled area. Wow, man, I tell you, yeah, I read some things where too that they didn't. They was talking about they didn't want it to be considered. I don't know, but that to me, somebody's down there breaking the law and selling drugs and overdoses, and you know, they talk about using the bathroom in the middle of the street and just, I got a real problem with that. You know, I don't know. I guess it's all that narcotics I worked. I just don't believe they ought to be any type of protected area. But I understand the police probably were very frustrated in that, you know, you can only do what the mayor lets you do. A lot of people don't understand that. Police department works for the mayor, and mayor controls the whole city. And police can't, if the police go out there and do their own thing, they won't be police very long because the mayor shuts you down. Um, wow, kept a med tech in the area for ODs. Yeah.
Sing to me says maybe you were speaking of your case.
No, I was talking about I thought you were talking about the murder in Idaho, the three girls and the boy in in the house out there.
She was talking about Molly Tibbetts in Iowa.
Oh, okay, my mistake. Uh, I see all these people in that case out in Idaho and think, you got all of these FBI and everybody out there, and um, and I just don't understand why they haven't solved that yet.
Do you have any other ones tonight?
Oh, I didn't do anymore. I didn't really feel like doing it, to be honest with you. But yeah, Red Jaguar, they travel too, RV too. What?
What I was going to tell y'all the other day, yesterday, we went through a fast food line, and everybody's fast paced. And, a lot of people work and they don't have time to really focus on things that are going on. So I asked the girl to slow down just a second. And I said, if someone pulled up at the window and the person did this, would you know what it means? Just and call for help. So we need to start sharing this with people because children are learning this. Women who are abused are learning this. They're learning that if somebody does this, that means call for help.
Well, let me just tell you though, I went to the store and the grocery store, and she said, "Here, pay for this." Gives me $100 bill, and it was like $50 worth of $49 and some change. So I gave the girl $100 bill, and she could not give me change. Well, she just get the cashier tells them exactly what to get back, and she just grabs it all and hands it to me. And I said, "Whoa, let's do this the old-fashioned way." I said, "Count it out to me. Show the change. You got $49.85. You give me 15 cents back. That makes 50, and count it out. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and they couldn't do it. He a young kid could not do it. Didn't understand my logic behind it. He said, "Oh no, no, no! I'm just going to give it this to you." And I said, "Well, how do I know that what you got in your hand is what I'm getting?" I said, "Just count it out." He said, "No, no," and he starts putting the ones in one pile and the five in one pile, and this stuff. And I mean, just make you shake your head
And then the
because
people behind Tommy were
yeah, they
they were
kind of
ready to
looking at
kill
me
him.
like,
Ah!
go on. I said, "Look, nobody knows how to do math anymore. So you're going to teach somebody that what this is or what this is over
It's
here or
this.
this.
It's look.
What I mean, they'll think you're doing some type of gang sign or something. It's just, they don't know how to do all this stuff."
Jaguar's right. You lose your job for doing your job. Sometimes you can lose your life because they're going to put you in prison for doing your job.
Yeah, there's a couple of cases right now in the area around my father-in-law's farm that one particular guy is a police officer. He went out to a suicide. It was man suicidal. Uh, they had an officer in the house with the guy.
A female.
A female didn't even have her gun out or anything. The guy had a gun to his head. Some movement or something happened, and the officer shot him, killed him. And they've tried him for murder and found him guilty. He's
And
in prison right now,
he's been in prison for how long?
over a year. But there's a real strong appeal because the Supreme Court has said if a police officer orders you to drop your weapon and you have a weapon, it doesn't have to be pointing at anybody. The Supreme Court says if the police officer demands you to drop the weapon and you fear that somebody else or yourself is in danger, you have a right to act, and deadly force is okay. But the judge wouldn't let that go in, and a few other things. There was some. They had the it was being videotaped, and they stopped the videotape for a certain amount of time because it was during COVID, and then they started the videotape, and they're arguing that the that shouldn't have been done, and so it's hopefully he will get out on appeal or for a retrial, because I mean this guy was number one in his class in the academy. He was, he was a stand-up guy,
And the
young
girl was
cop.
a young cop who didn't have much training on the streets, right?
Young. I don't know about her, but she's no longer a police officer. We understand it's so strong case for the officer. The police department ruled that it was a justified shoot, and they said that he followed policy. And when the grand jury indicted him for it, he the police department paid his lawyer, which used to be my partner in narcotics, but he's an attorney now. They approved $125,000 to represent him, and he's still representing him to this day in the appeals. But I mean, the chief of police testified in his behalf, but still, they're in
Great what Jaguar said.
Philly officer or young officer in prison right now doing the same thing. Yeah, I mean,
this is sad. It is a sad case when they.
Well, here's one thing too. They charge him with murder, and if you look at the murder statute, the murder statute says you have to have intent to go in there and kill somebody. I think the very least they probably should have been charged with manslaughter or reckless homicide. Which, if he'd have done it with reckless homicide, it would have been in Alabama. Is basically a misdemeanor if it's like. Um, it's not that's not quite the charge of reckless homicide, but it's like something like that, and it's a misdemeanor. But uh, manslaughter is a lesser offense. But they gave him 25 years, which meant anything over in Alabama over 20 years you can't get good time for. So you'll have to stay on up a long time for you get parole, and he couldn't be out on appeal bond because he had over 20 years sentence. So it's, I don't know. Saying to me, we're talking about law enforcement officer that was in jail up here in North Alabama, and it was just we're not actually talking about a missing person right now because we were discussing about
police officers going to jail for doing their job.
Right. But anyway, getting back to, there's so many people missing every day that I went back to NamUs today and I was going through, and there's tremendous amount of people that are missing, but they're runaways that, like I saw 95% of runaways return home. 95% can just Kid Thomas asked account change, looking for here in the lights. Yeah, T.S. Jackson. It was. I finally gave up. That the point is where this kid was trying to, I was trying to get him to give me change.
They were fixing to get him for
you know,
harassment.
yeah, I think so.
Kick him out of Walmart, tell him he can't come back.
Yeah, I know it was unbelievable. But
Hey guys, I'm getting text from my dad. I told him last night that I was going to fix him dinner. And normally he doesn't eat till 8:30, but I'm getting text saying he's sitting at the table waiting on his dinner. So I'm going to go over there and fix my 89-year-old father his supper because that's what he wants. And I know he's just teasing me, but anyway, I'm going to go over there and see if I can heat some stuff up. And I will see y'all next week. Thank you for joining me. Tommy will still be here.
yeah, and we're when is the first?
Sunday.
Sunday.
We're leaving here by Monday.
We're leaving on Monday to go to Gulf Shores, Alabama, for a month, mainly for doctor's appointments, and our daughter's coming down towards the end of the month and spend a week with us. But after that, we're heading down south.
Kirby.
We're heading down to Florida, Forgotten Coast, and May. Hopefully, we're going to end up down there near Red Jaguar. I'm trying to get some reservations right now to do that. So anyway, we do appreciate you coming in tonight. Sorry we couldn't have more to talk about. We will in the future. It's just been a crazy, crazy day for all of us. We've been running around and everybody's sick everywhere. I hope you get well. Take care of yourself. Do something too. Uh, uh, what saying we say, what does Grandpa do then? What is that about? Anyway, that I've talked, like I said, I talked to somebody earlier, and they said if you do yourself a favor, and if you get sick, go to the doctor right away and get some medicine if they got any. Herbie said, "How's your rig since it got stuck?" Actually, I looked at it, and there was no damage. Thank the Lord. One door looked like in the very back looked like I might need to adjust it, but no damage. So we were very fortunate there. It was mostly just sunk down into the mud and water, but other than that, it's no damage. And I was glad after getting all that stuff repaired. Uh, Actually, saying to me, he can fix his own supper. That's not an issue. However, Medina's brother stays with him when we're not here. In fact, he's over there right now. I don't know why he couldn't help him, but um, he he's 89 and he's retired Army. Still gets out, does his own thing outside. Um, but her brother stays down with him and helps him out when we're not here. Somebody's here with him pretty much all the time now, but he doesn't have to be really. Um, but we do appreciate y'all being here tonight. I'm gonna let you go. Yeah, 80, my daddy lived to be 91, so I'm hoping he passed some of those genes down to me. But hopefully anyway. But y'all stay well, and thanks for coming, and we'll see you next Thursday. And we're trying to get to where we can do something else on this channel two times a week, but it's just very, very tough when we're editing videos and doing videos on our other channel, our RV channel. If you're not a member of that channel, we do appreciate if you go over and subscribe to it, and also follow Herbie on Herbie's channel there at Red Jaguar. He's got an RV channel also, and come and join the journey, both of our journeys, as we travel out here and see America. And we hope to see you next time. So good night and God bless.